everyone, and welcome to the Empowering Industry podcast. Exciting day here. I just love being able to share interesting people out in the workforce that are doing amazing things. So, today we're going to talk a little bit about robotics, but before that, we're going to get to know these amazing professionals. Um, let's just start with introducing yourselves to our audience. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Julia Astrid Riemenschneider. I'm the CEO of Rethink Robotics as well as United Robotics Group, two companies based in Germany, but we have our subsidiaries here in the United States. Started my professional career in the tourism industry, and through my bachelor's and master's degrees, I made my world into the automation industry. Worked for some vision companies, sensor companies, and ended up in the field of collaborative robotics, starting with Universal Robots and Farka Imika. And since 2022, I'm responsible for the business development in United Robotics Group, and I recently was assigned the CEO. So very nice to meeting you, and thank you for making us part of your format here today.
Wonderful.
Yeah, hi, also from my end. My name is Franziska Lorenz. I'm COO of Rethink Robotics, and I started my professional career in a German industrial engineering company, then moved on to our sister company, who is an important integrator for automation processes, and then went to United Robotics Group, where I've been in corporate development and compliance for 3 years. And this year I was also appointed COO of Rethink Robotics.
Well, I think it's amazing. I mean, first of all, you think about just all the different ways that we can get into industry. Francesca, just it sounds like you were right in industry at the first. So, did you know that you wanted to be in industry, or was that just kind of the job that presented itself?
Yeah, it's the latter one. So I have no engineering background. I studied international management, and yeah, I always found it interesting that yeah, industrial engineering is one of the pillars of the German economy, and I thought that's super interesting, and I want to join that. And once you're in industrial engineering, I guess you never leave. So
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about that on here a lot. But then, Julia, having that tourism background and being able to travel and do, I think that's probably a strength there, right? Of being able to kind of have this global reach as well.
For sure. And I mean, it's been hard to actually get the foot into the door for the industrial automation industry because when I was, back in the working for a tour operator, I was sitting there applying and everybody was like, "Hey, what are you? Like, are you a travel agent or are you like a flight attendant? What are you doing?" And nobody really believed me until I met a few people who are former managers from a big corporate company, and they say, "Well, that's interesting. You are a young, ambitious woman, and we want to give you the opportunity to grow into that." And that's actually what I'm very grateful for, that I was given the opportunity. I started my path there as a project manager, and within a week, I've been to five manufacturing companies, and it was just a rush. Like, and that really, this is where I caught fire, and this is where I got excited about it. And just as Francisca says, once you're in it, you're never gonna leave, and it's I have not gotten tired of it at all.
Yeah, going and walking a plant, I say it all the time. Like, I love a plant tour. It does. It excites you. It gets you going. It makes you like understand that this is a world that we can play in, And I think that that is just another way that we can accomplish getting things done. Now, robotics and robots and cobots, and it is an exciting world. But tell us what we need to know about this.
Well, I mean, if you look at the world of industrial automation, there are a lot of trends out there. So, I mean, when you talk about big automotive or corporate companies, it's all about AI and technology and scaling and how can we implement automation as fast as possible. So that's one trend that we see. And of course, our products incorporate in AI and these kinds of technologies. On the other end, we realize and see that there are still a lot of small and medium-sized businesses which have not even started automation. And this is a big opportunity on the other end of the scale, right? So we really like to see that there's still a wide range, even in between, of opportunities where people are looking for solutions and ways to get automation in their manufacturing plants. And there's always the question a little bit like, do they integrate themselves? Do they use an integrator? So there are multiple ways. And yeah, it's just there's a lot going on and a lot of new companies approaching this market, and I'm excited to see how we evolve.
Yes, and Francesca, there's probably a lot of different levels of that as far as like getting into a company, looking at their operations and getting them plugged in. How have you found that as you've been moving forward on the operations side?
Oh, it's very interesting, and there's so much to learn and so much, yeah, so many different projects we're doing right now. And as we continue to talk with different customers, we get to know so many new applications that are needed or new fields of operations where we could bring our cobots in. So it's super interesting to see, yeah, that robotics is going into, yeah, almost all the different processes that we have to produce products we use in our everyday life.
Yes, we absolutely talk about that all the time. Like we cannot survive in comfort without industry and equipment. And I'm loving kind of the AI thought as well. Like, of course, as a marketer, there's a lot of easy ways to implement that. But if somebody's like, okay, I'm in, I'm ready. What is kind of the first step of getting a customer? What does that look like for y'all?
I think a question, and it's not been, I've been in sales and marketing for a long time, and I've been to a lot of manufacturing plants, and we always discussed projects. And my focus was always like, what is the process? What is the workflow? Where do we start with the automation? How does the process look today? How is it going to look in the future? How do we integrate the people? Because with cobots, we don't talk about machines who replace humans, but it's often a collaboration where the robots are supposed to work alongside with the human. So there is an important part where we talk how we do train the operators and how do we make sure that the robots are accepted and integrated. And so it is important to understand what the customer actually wants to accomplish. So I've been in the field with an application engineer, and he asked the customer a wonderful question. That was, when would you consider this project as a success? And I thought, this is amazing. Like, let's not talk which robot, which part, which person, which what. No, let's first define our goal. And I think this is powerful. I'm asking this question now all the time, and people are surprised because they don't hear it before. And then they start thinking, and often they call us and they ask, like, can we do an automation? But what does that actually mean to them? So I think this is a cool question, and this is how we approach it. What is your goal? What is the main and most important thing, and then we can take it from there. We don't need to stall with the full automation. We take one part of the process, we make that solid and stable, and then we put all the other pieces around it.
I love that, and I feel like all of my salespeople are just like so excited. This is one of the questions that we teach in sales a lot of the times. Yeah, what do you want to accomplish? What are we trying to do here? I think that is so great, and I hope it is a reminder to everybody who's listening just to really ask their customer that today too, right? Well, as we have them, and it is a manufacturing audience, we have a lot of manufacturing automotive in Alabama. That's where I'm located. And so to see that process and to see, I think one of the first times I saw a robot interacting was kind of moving a motor alongside a human, right? It was like, oh, great, that's taking all that stress off that person to be able to lift the motor on its own and that kind of thing. And I thought this was great. They can kind of move on to do something else. Is there anything that you want to kind of tell that audience, maybe that they're, hesitant to working in this area, or just in general that you want to make sure that we tell our audience?
Well, I think it's being aware of, new opportunities, and there are still plenty and things, since the technology is developing so fast. Like, I learn every day, okay, this vision system can do this, this gripper is available. Like almost like monthly, there are new product releases, and a lot of things become available, which solve problems where in the past we used to say, like, this is not possible. So I think it's being aware, keeping your eyes open, and use the opportunities from the industry, also given like by the associations and the shows that you can attend to, look around, see what's new, and what can we do with all this great technology that's been launched and available now.
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm definitely doing that on my own. Anytime that there's kind of this new app or different social media is fascinating to me and how people interact with it. But anytime we go from kind of the mechanical to electrical, if you will, or digital, there is a time shift in that, right? And making sure that, we practice, we use it, we understand it. Francisca, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think it's super important most of us can't even realize or imagine how the world will look like in 10 or even 50 or 100 years, and the industry will totally change. So we have to be open-minded and try to think what else we could do with robots and what this enables us as humans to focus on.
I love it. We love to bring people together. The EPIC conference, the Empowering Pumps and Industry conference, we always talk about the workforce and industry coming together to innovate. But sometimes we have to be inspired in order to do that. And so just going out, being part of industry, I think is really important. And so thank y'all for, doing that for us today, kind of re-exciting all of us in this world. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
I can speak for myself. Just contact me through LinkedIn. I'm there sharing company news, but also some personal things. There are some work-related topics that I like to address. So I'm, for example, part in a committee talking about DEI, mental health, and fitness is one of the topics and subjects that I like to bring out and discuss with the industry. So LinkedIn would be certainly the best portal.
Definitely.
Well, before I let you go, I have to kind of ask, I mean, you're two senior level women in the industry. And, I think that, you're an example, a role model, whether you want to be or not, for women in industry. What is some advice that you would give?
I would say, don't be afraid to speak up, even if you're in a room full of men and you're the only woman. Don't be afraid to tell them what you think and your thoughts, because I have experienced that oftentimes women just think differently and we have totally different ideas, which would really help the business to prosper. So speak up, don't be afraid, and don't try to be like a typical businessman. We have our own benefits and our own thoughts, which are crucial to the success of the business. So don't try to imitate men, just be yourself, and use all the good things and the good characteristics you have as a woman.
That's some really great advice.
Yeah, I agree with this, and I would say don't be afraid to ask, because this industry is full of men who empower you. So I've never been, I never received a no. There were always people helping me, always people giving me opportunities. And since I started, the amount of women in the industry has significantly grown. And there are a lot of women, when you reach out, they give you opportunities, they point out to others and help you navigate through this world. So just don't be afraid to ask. Ask and you will be given, as my my theme there. And and don't give up. I mean, sometimes it just happens that things don't fall in place as fast as you wanted, but if you just wait. And just one example, we've been approached by a young lady at one of the shows last year, and she came and she said, like, it is my dream to work in the robotics industry. Back then we did not have a job to offer her, and then a few months later, there is this job opportunity in marketing, and I call her and she's all over the place. And this is what you got to do. You got to show up and ask, and people will remember you, and then doors will open for you.
Oh, that's wonderful. And congratulations to her. I'm excited to see what y'all are going to do next and just get this information out there so that we can continue to grow as an industry. Can I do a little rapid fire with you before I let you go?
Sure.
Okay. What is your favorite book? I know.
A hard one. I'm a big reader and I have read so many books. Wow, that's an interesting question. So what I can recommend is the book I'm currently reading. I haven't finished it yet, but like 80%, and it's called Energy Rising, about how to be good in your leadership role and how to succeed in that. And apart from that, I would definitely say it's the Hunger Games books that I love so much and have read them several times because I'm a big fan of dystopian science fiction.
I love it. Do you have one? Or you can skip if you don't. Yeah.
My mind. I don't really have time to read. Since months, I'm trying to finish The Body Keeps the Score. It's amazing, but I don't make it to read more than 5 pages per day. So I usually fall asleep over that.
I'm an audiobook podcaster, so no judgment here. What about music? Do y'all have any favorite tunes or anything?
Yeah, I have really interesting taste in music, I would say, and really special. So I'm a flamenco dancer. I started dancing flamenco many years ago, and I love the music. But I also happen to love country music, which is very special for someone from Germany who hasn't lived in the US yet. So it's a mix of Spanish and country music. I guess it's quite unique.
I would say so for sure.
Same here. So I'm a runner, but this playlist includes, techno music, everything fast beats to keep you going, but also a lot of, rock music. I'm a big fan of Linkin Park. I call it the soundtrack of my life because all the songs somehow relate to things that happened in the past. So yeah, this is my music.
I love it. Okay, now these are a little bit harder, which you've already given advice to the people in the industry. But I would say, what is the best advice that you have ever received?
Wow, that's a hard one.
For me personally, because I'm high energy and I've been like that always. Like when I was a child, I was always pushing, 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 and people tell me, slow down, sometimes wait and sleep a night over it. I tend to jump on things and I write this email and later I think maybe I was too quick. So I would say sometimes just waiting and giving things some thought and time, and things will fall in place for you if you really want it and if it's meant to be. Don't force it. For me personally, I think that was a good advice to know that if it's meant to be for me, it will come to me.
Yeah, it just makes me think that you're an activator. You've got the activation strength, so you can just kind of push people to go. So it can be both. You have to watch it, like you said, but actually gets business going. So I can see why that's a strength of yours too.
Yeah, for me, it's a similar one. Be patient, everything will fall into place, and don't be disappointed if something doesn't realize the way you want it, because the universe will put everything into place. So just be patient.
Well, y'all have definitely inspired me this morning. Thank y'all for being here. I'm excited about your business and continue the growth there. And just, I hope everybody listening, y'all will share this episode. Again, it will be inspiring. It'll make you think. It'll make you kind of look into your world of AI and robotics. And hopefully we'll get to see y'all out and about at an event coming up as well. And until next time, everyone, be empowering.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.